Hi everyone, I'm MaryAnn. I'm a visual artist and voice coach from Singapore, and I'm currently in Singapore. And welcome to day 19 of my 100-day vlog project. So this is a daily series where I share what I've learned about the creative process, about the artist journey, about being yourself, about following your dreams, pursuing your passion, living a life that is meaningful to you and having a worthy purpose, like all these things that I'm really passionate about sharing. And if you have questions relating to any of them, feel free to ask them in the comments, or you can directly message me through any of my social media links that are in the write-up attached to these videos. So I'm almost at the 20% mark of this journey that I've gone on of 100 days of daily vlogging. And it's really exciting because I'm starting to observe how, it's starting to get a little bit more challenging each time I want to record these videos. So yesterday I shared a little bit about how our life happens right now in the present moment, that anything that has happened in the past or anything that we are looking forward to in the future is all an illusion, because what has happened in the past is already gone, and for us to keep thinking about it means you're no longer here. And at the same time, what we think is supposed to happen in our future, what we anticipate, is just an illusion. Nothing is set in stone. Even what you are certain of that is going to happen tomorrow, like chances are that's what's going to happen, but we really don't know. And there's one passage in the Bible which I still quote kind of in a paraphrasey kind of way, even though I'm no longer religious as of 7 years ago, is the one in Ecclesiastes, which is about how there is a time for everything under the sun. There's a time for mourning, a time for laughing, a time for celebration, a time for, tearing things down. I'm really paraphrasing here, but you get the idea, okay? So there's a season for everything, and there's a time for everything under heaven and in the world. And that applies also even in our lives, and even on on a minute to minute basis. There is a minute for everything basically, if you really break that time down to the tiniest measure of it. Okay, just to put it out there, like, time is not linear. Time is not something that the way we sense it and the way we experience it is a lot more abstract than that, right? But in the physical tangible reality that we have, this is the measurement of time we have, which is by the seconds, by hours, by minutes, and by days and weeks and months and so on. Okay, so when that Bible saying about there's a time for everything, I think it really boils down to even like every single second of your life is a time for something. And I think we have a misconception in our life, the way we live, that we think that we're supposed to be happy, that we think that we're always looking forward to the positive things, we're always looking forward to the things we enjoy, and how to make myself happy. Like, this is a line that I hear a lot in TV shows and in movies, like, I want to do what makes me happy, I want to be with a person who makes me happy. But the reality is, nothing makes you happy. Nothing and no one can make you happy. Your happiness is your choice. Your happiness is you choosing that you're going to be happy no matter what happens around you. Okay, so that's a whole different discussion for another time, but but we're talking about there's a time for everything here, right? So there's a time for happiness, and there's a time where you're going to feel like shit, and there's a time where you're going to be angry, and there's a time where you're going to be annoyed, and there's a time where you're going to dread the work that you're doing now. There's a time for everything, and even within the span of a day, even within the span of a minute, every single second is a different time in our life. Basically, to really drill down to like living in the present moment and all that. Every single second is a different time in our life. Every single second we could change, our emotional state could change just like that because of something that happens. And I think what it comes down to is, one, being able to accept that life is not always a bed of roses and life is not always going to be happy, and yet at the same time knowing also that we have a choice as to how we want to engage and how we want to react and how we want to respond to the things that are happening in our external reality. So as an example, like, I think yesterday or the day before, I shared about how you know, sometimes in my work I have the really boring stuff, like, you know, the business and the administrative things, which I really don't like to do, and most creatives don't like to do. And I can whine about it, right? And it's okay to feel like, oh, you know, this again. And maybe for 1 second I'll just be like, oh, I have to do this. And then the next second I can choose that, okay, you know, let's just get cracking on it. And then maybe, you know, I can start finding ways to make it more fun for myself. Like, you know, creating a system around it, creating a game around it sometimes. Like, sometimes I set a timer and say, okay, let's try to finish this in like 15 minutes. Yeah, and then it doesn't become that much of a chore anymore, because then I'm thinking, okay, you know, I can just get it done and get it out of the way. Sometimes it helps, like a few days ago I shared also about how we look forward to things as a way to help us in the present moment, and that's totally fine too, because that works. But you know, at the same time, we don't want to be too attached to what we're looking forward to, because there's a chance that it's not going to turn out the way we want it to. So I still think, you know, the best way to really learn how to learn how to live fully and to learn how to embrace who we are is to really be as present as we can to the time that we have right now. So if it's a time where you are upset, then, you know, so be it. If it's a time where you are happy, then so be it too. And like, enjoy every single moment of it, enjoy every single second of it, because it's a normal human experience that there is a time for everything under the sun. And this time could even just be, you know, second by second or minute by minute. We go through, you know, we can go through the whole roller coaster of emotions within the span of a minute. If, let's say, you know, things really happen that way, that trigger us in a certain way, and that's totally possible too. So yeah, life is not always going to be a bed of roses, but at the same time, it is up to us to decide how we want to view it and how we want to enjoy it and how we want to live it, no matter what our external reality and external circumstances are. So if you enjoyed this video, follow me on Facebook or subscribe to my YouTube channel, and ask your questions in the comments, or you can directly message me, and I will see you tomorrow.